ولا الضالين. Thank you.
Thank you, Junaid, for the invocation. Now, I would like to request this program is being jointly done by NEET Dental Education Unit and NEET University Alumni Association, along with the Student Council Cell. I would like to request the President of the Association, Dr. Mikdad, to give the welcome address.
Good afternoon, one and all. As we all know, NEET is a milestone for dentistry. Dental journey that an entrance exam and preparation is very important, since it's very highly competitive nowadays, and our NEET University Alumni Association is giving an opportunity to our NEETians to interact with the expert in this area. For this unique program, I would like to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Shamus Bhatt, Dean, Faculty of Dentistry, NEET Dental College, and today's guest of honor, Dr. Maji Jose, Vice Principal, NEET Dental College, and we have two eminent resource persons. One is Dr. Monisha KP and Dr. Blessing Matthew. And I would like to welcome all the participants who joined in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mikdad, the President of the NEET University Alumni Association, for welcoming all the speakers as well as the chief guest for today. Now, I would like to invite our Dean, Faculty of Dentistry, Dr. Shamus Bhatt. I still remember my days when I wrote my entrance exam, where he was the pillar of the support. I would like to thank him for being there. Sir, the stage is for you to give the chief guest address.
Very good afternoon, all, and namaste. Our dental college, that NEET Dental College Education Unit, and YUAA, that is NEET University Alumni Association, along with the Dental Loupes, they organize this program. Is really a timely, rather you can say thoughtful program according to me, because just one batch of NEET exam is over. Immediately after they are doing this program, it means they're ready to take off for next one. I really mean that the timing is very, very thoughtful process. And the team, who are acting, that Imran Pasha and Junaid and the Mikdad, really congratulations to your team. And to talk about national exams or a NEET exam, national entrance or a eligibility and entrance test is really a great things conducted by our national level, of course, under the Ministry of Government. Now, the things coming out of this, cracking things and answering to that, and specifically they mentioned about decoding. I think decoding is definitely a proper word. I mean, aptly they have put here. It means it shows as analysis and interpret. Definitely, once you going for any of the NEET exams, first you have to do the analysis. Without that, you cannot answer it. And according to me, here, writing theory exams are more easier than the NEET directly. Or you can say that NEET marking the that worksheet is not that easy. You have a time limit there. 920 questions you have to answer in 3 hours. I mean, you have to make it 1.5 minutes for one questions. Here, rightly, that Dr. Mikdad has mentioned about that speaker's name, Dr. Monisha and Dr. Belsin Matthew, who has come over to give a webinar here. It means a lot, because you have achieved something. You want to share your knowledge to other people. It means a lot to the education side. And here again, I'll speak about Dr. Maji, who is always a pillar support for all the students here. And she mentions always, whenever do the work, you do completely. That she always do that also in her work. Along with this, all this work, I'll give some of the other things to what you have to do. Please go with proper preparations. Means you have to check for your syllabus, how much is required each marks. First, you analyze that. Number two, prepare well your notes, which is required to the highest extent of high level, or to what you can say many questions where is yours, where you are cracked, or maybe you are repeated your knowledge of your earlier studies. All this, keep it a note, then repeat it regularly. Question papers you have to follow. Whatever the exam they are conducting online programs, you attend that. Rather, I can say many of the abroad universities, even they conduct short courses. Even that questions are also you can see on online. All this will be definitely be helpful for your cracking this decoding. With this, I once again thanks for calling me for this program, and Dr. Maji and Dr. other speakers and Dr. Mikdad and Imran Pasha. Junaid, thank for giving me this opportunity. Have a nice day. Enjoy. All students, congratulations for our future endeavors for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I would like to thank our Dean, Faculty of Dentistry, Dr. Shami S. Bhatt, for those inspiring words, and also mentioning about how we decode the word. They exactly says decode. And also, I would like to tell sir, exactly pointed out that we have 1.5 minutes to crack the questions. So thank you for your insightful words. Now, I would like to ask Dr. Maji Jose. I still remember ma'am's lecture on oral pathology. I would say that we have learned a great deal of lot, and I know that ma'am he's been doing a lot of these entrance exam programs for our students, and I would like to invite ma'am for a few words of encouragement for our participants. Ma'am, over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, respected Dean and other faculty members and dear students. First of all, I really appreciate the efforts of Dr. Imran and team in arranging for such programs. Like Shambat sir said, that one NEET exam just got over. Immediately, Imran thought of training the next batch of students or the same batch of students for the next exam. So it's a very good initiative. So I hope all the students will take active participation in this and then take the benefit of it. So I wish all the best to the program, and thanks to all of you for the opportunity given. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you for your inspiring words. And now I would like to ask Dr. Monisha KP, who is part of the company called Dental Loupes. And I'm really proud to say that, I was one of the faculty who was there in Century Dental College as newly passed out MDS. These were the students who were there studying. And she went on to establish a company called Dental Loupes. And she has a lot of exciting things to share about what they have gone about and doing it. It's not about, cracking the NEET code. It also having a vision. How do we train? She herself had got a very good ranking and went on to do her MDS in the subject of prosthodontics. So I would like to request Dr. Monisha to come forward and take the stage for the students. Monisha?
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, before I begin the session, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Lakshmikant Chatra sir, Principal Yen-DEU Dental College, Dr. Shambhat sir, Dean Yen-DEU Dental College, and Dr. Maji Jose ma'am, Vice Principal Yen-DEU Dental College, and also the Yen-DEU Dental Education Unit and Yen-DEU University Alumni Association. A very special mention to Dr. Imran Pasha sir, who's also my mentor, for having this trust in us and providing us with this platform to enlighten the students of Yen-DEU Dental College and the other students as well. Right. Before we begin, I'll just share the screen so that we have a proper visual session. So just to confirm, is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. I think let's move ahead with the session today. Right, before we proceed, a small introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Monisha KP. I'm a consultant prosthodontist, the founder and mentor of Dental Loupes. So for those of you who do not follow us on Instagram or who do not know about us, Dental Loupes is an initiative that provide online education for dental students. So myself and my colleagues, Dr. Blesson and Dr. Atul, we started this initiative in May 2021. And the main aim of our initiative was to provide quality education at the comfort of your homes. So, with this initiative, we are moving ahead into our third successful academic year right now. So, we'll move ahead into our session now. So about NEET MDS, I know the NEET MDS 2023 got over just 2-3 days back. So most of you all who are attending the session, some of you at least would have attempted the exam just to see how it was, or maybe most of you are just fresh minds over here, right? So let's start from the very base. So NEET, National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, right? So we all know it's an objective based examination, correct? Multiple choice based examination. So do you all know how many questions we get for the NEET MDS examination? I usually like to have an interactive session, but since it's an online webinar mode, I doubt how much interaction we'll be able to have. But yes, so we all know we have 240 questions for the NEET MDS examination, right? So and in that 240 questions, how many hours do we get to solve those 240 questions? So we get 3 hours, that is 180 minutes to solve the 240 questions, correct? That's just the overview about the examination. Now, the NEET exam, since the last 4-5 years, is conducted by the National Board of Education, NBE. Okay, so that is the outline. Now, other than INI-CET examination, which most of you all will be aware of to get into AIMS, PGI or JIPMA, NEET MDS is the only examination which is a must that you all clear to obtain a seat in any college all over India. Correct? Be it a management seat, be it a private seat, be it a merit seat, you need to qualify NEET MDS, right? And the number of competition that you all have for NEET. Do you all know how much is the number of students attempting NEET every year? It's almost 15 to 20,000 students attempting NEET every year. So you all know the level of competition, right? Right. So moving ahead, before you start your preparation, there'll be so many questions that run around in your mind, right? As in, do I really need to do MDS? Is it worth all the efforts that I take? Or maybe you'll feel, I am a very average student since BDS times. Will I be able to do it? Or where do I start from? Do I need to read theory, or how will I complete the entire syllabus? So all these questions would come up in your mind, right? So first question, is it worth doing MDS? Now, if you ask me, I would definitely say a great big yes. Now, to be very brief about it, to highlight the benefits of doing an MDS degree, we all know MDS means master's degree, right? So we are obviously we are mastering one particular subject rather than knowing bits and pieces of all subjects. We'll be a master of one particular subject. So that definitely means more knowledge, more prestige, more money, and the most important thing, there is more scope for growth. Okay, those are some advantages of an MDS degree compared to just a BDS degree, right? Now, since I have done my post-graduation from a government dental college, I did my post-graduation in prosthodontics from GDC Goa. Okay, since I did from a government college, I'd like to stress upon doing a degree from the government college, right? It is a personal choice, government or private, it's a personal choice. But since I have done from a government college, I'd like to highlight on doing an MDS degree from a government college. Okay, so one thing First, most important, since government colleges do not charge from patients, the patient exposure is massive. Okay, so you get a good amount of clinical knowledge. Second most important thing, which is the driving force for most of the aspirants, you all would be knowing, is the stipend that government college provide during the 3 years of MDS degree, right? So you all know how much the stipend usually the government colleges pay, right? So that actually is a driving force for most of the students to do a preparation for the NEET MDS examination. Right. And the third thing is the fees compared to a private college is way too lesser in a government college. So all those are some of the highlights of a government college. Yeah, there are disadvantages as well, as in most of the private colleges are well equipped with latest technologies and stuff. But yeah, let's not go into that. Right. So those are some of the advantages of a government college. Now, when I talk about that, do you all know how much is the ranking that you all need to get into a government college? So you all need to come at least within the top 300. That is a maximum that I could say to get a good seat in a government college. And to have a clinical seat, maybe you need to come within the top 200 of the All India ranking, right? So that is about overview about a government college or a private college. As you see here, everybody will want to win. Okay, so it is not the will to win that matters. Everybody will have that. It is the will to prepare to win that matters. So it's not just that aim that you need to have, it's that push or the hard work that you put that will help you achieve what you want. Okay, right. So as you see here, you can see there is dream, believe, and achieve. Okay, so first thing, most of y'all who are attending this session today, I assume you all will have a dream branch, right? Or a dream college, if I'm not wrong, correct? So what I am not able to see you all personally, but what I want you all to do right now is to visualize the dream. Okay, so I know some of you aspire to be a future orthodontist or a future oral surgeon. Okay, just visualize yourself doing your branch of choice in maybe your dream college. Okay, visualize yourself doing that. If not now, at least whenever you're sitting alone today, sometime later, okay, just visualize yourself doing that. Once you visualize that, that will automatically give you that driving force to work for it. Okay, so once you have that dream, the next thing that you need to do is to believe. Okay, believe in yourself. Believe that that seat is destined for you, that is meant for you. Okay, only if you have the trust in yourself, you'll be able to work for it. Okay, and then put in all your hard work to achieve that particular seat. Okay, that is the basic mantra. Okay, right. Now let me share a few tips here and there that helped me during my preparation time. I took a break of around 7 months post my internship. Okay, so a few tips that helped me during my preparation time, I'll share it with you all so that it benefits you as well. So most important thing, what you see in the slide over here, do not study hard, study smart. So don't get me wrong over here. I'm not asking you all not to work hard. You definitely need to work hard, but you need to work hard in a smarter way. Okay, that is very important. So when I say that, I've seen some of my students who are very hardworking. Okay, but even after working so hard, they're not able to deliver the results. What is stopping them from that? Okay, so what you need to know is you need to direct your energy in the right direction. Okay, if you invest all your hard work, all your energy in the wrong direction, if you keep on reading without knowing what exactly to read, that will not take you anywhere. So you need to be smart while making your choices. You need to be smart while reading. Okay, it is very essential for cracking your NEET MDS examination. Now, the first and most important thing that you need to do is to be familiar with your syllabus. Now, when I say, you all know how many subjects do we have throughout the 4-5 years that we learn various, we have around 19 to 20 subjects, correct? Now, most of the non-medicos and the others who are not from the dental field, they might ask us, what do you have to learn so much? It's just 32 teeth, correct? We have come up with so many questions like that, but we know how vast our syllabus is. So what you need to know is you need to be aware of the vastness of your syllabus and that limited amount of time that you have. So in around 7 to 8 months, in the coming months, you'll have to complete this entire syllabus of dentistry. Right? So you need to be aware of that, first thing. Okay, talking about the syllabus, there is a mark distribution given by the National Board of Examination. So usually before the exam is conducted, they release a mark distribution. And since last many years, how is the mark distribution? You need to know that. Okay, it is as most of you all think that clinical subjects are more important compared to non-clinical subjects. It's not like that. Okay, when it comes to NEET MDS examination, the markings are almost equal for all subjects. So it is 14 mark each for all the subjects. Okay, and it's 15 each for general medicine and general surgery. That's a marking scheme that NBE follows. Okay, they follow it or not follow it, that's a different matter. Okay, the question paper sometimes they do not follow it, but that is the marking scheme that they give. Okay, when we talk about the marking scheme this time for NEET MDS 2023 examination, some of you would have attempted the exam, right? So you all know the first part of the exam, which is the medical part. So we have part A and part B. So part A is usually the medical part, okay? And part B is the dental part. The part A had lots of application level questions this time, a lot of medicine based, clinical based questions, okay? So they keep changing the pattern every time. Right? So that is about your syllabus. Sorry. The next thing that we need to know is we need to acquire the right study material. So when I say right study material, there are a lot of MCQ books that are available, right? We have Dental Pulse, Dentist, we have Dental Explore, Target, so many books, correct? Now, what you need to do is you need to select your baseline book. Now, if you ask me, I had followed Dental Pulse. Now, again, that's a personal choice. You can decide upon which book you're comfortable with. Okay. So first thing that you need to do is you have to select one baseline book. Don't sit and read all the MCQ books that are available. That is not going to take you anywhere. Okay. So select one baseline book. Dental Pulse is actually convenient because it has a good synopsis given at the end of each subject. Okay, so in the synopsis, it will give you a brief about all the chapters in a particular subject. So that is actually good for beginners. Okay, so you need to acquire your study materials. Okay, declutter your space, acquire all your study material, and sit and start studying. If possible, start studying today. Right. So that is a list of books that I had followed during my preparation, which was very informative and which helped me a lot during my preparation. So Dental Pulse was a book that I followed throughout. Okay, if you are not able to follow any other books, it's fine. Clear your concepts from the textbooks and follow Dental Pulse. That is what I would suggest. Okay. Concept clearing is again very important. So for concept clearing from certain subjects like pharmacology and general pathology, which is a little bit complicated, you can refer to Sparsh Gupta's textbook. They have nicely mentioned the concepts in it. Okay, so these are some textbooks that you could refer. Right, that is about the study material. Now, once you have all your study materials in hand, the next thing that you need to have is a proper plan. Okay, you need to make a good timetable. Now, when I say make a timetable, you always need to focus on making a realistic timetable, right? Don't make timetable saying that I'll complete oral pathology in 4 days and anatomy in 5 days. That is not going to happen, right? So you need to make a good realistic timetable. So for that, you need to have a proper plan, correct? So how do you divide your subject? So how do you divide your time? That is completely up to you. Okay, what you need to assess is how many months do I have for my NEET MDS exam. In that, at least leaving 3 or 4 months for revision. In the rest of that phase, or at least 6-7 months, you need to complete your entire 20 subjects. So plan your time accordingly. Okay. So that is about planning. Again, what I used to follow and what I follow even now for completing my tasks, always have a to-do list. Okay, when you go to sleep, just make a to-do list for the next day. Okay, so you make a list. Next day, as soon as you finish one particular task, start ticking those lists. Okay, that actually helps you perform better. Okay, so you are like accountable to yourself. There's nobody asking you, you have studied so much or so much. You need to be accountable to yourself. So plan properly. Okay, have daily timetables, monthly timetables, and stick to it. Just having timetables won't work. You need to stick to those timetables, right? Sorry. Next important thing, most important thing when it comes to any preparation is the revision aspect. Okay, now when do you start revising? So it's not that you complete entire pulse reading once and then go back to revising. Don't do that. Okay, what you need to do is read one subject from dental pulse. Okay, as soon as you finish one particular subject and you move to the next particular subject, always keep a 1 hour slot or a 2 hour slot in the morning. Okay, for revision. Now, for example, if you have completed anatomy, okay, and you're moving ahead to biochemistry, always keep a 1 hour slot in the morning to revise anatomy. Okay, so as soon as you finish your first subject reading, you need to begin your revision. Okay, otherwise, what would happen if you complete 4-5 subjects at a stretch from dental pulse and you think of going back to revision? It'll be like a fresh start. You'll not remember anything. Okay, so it is always advisable to start your revision early. Okay, now talking about revision, a few tips that helped me during my preparation for revision, I'd like to share it with you all. Okay, there are certain values or numericals, especially in community dentistry and dental materials. It is very difficult to remember. I know it is very volatile, correct? So it is essential that we memorize it. So what you could do is during your preparation, as and when you come across any values or any numericals, note it down in a notebook. Okay, maintain a small value notebook. So note down all the values in those notebook. Okay, so whenever you get free time, if you're an intern and your clinics are very busy, okay, what you could do is you could carry this value notebook with you and refer to the book. Okay, so whenever possible, you can just refer to the book. So that will trigger your visual memory and it actually helps in remembering things. Otherwise, all these values are very volatile. It doesn't stay. On the day of exam, you won't remember it. Okay, so it actually helps. Next thing, what you could do is the sticky note method. Again, this is for visual learners. So what you could do is you could write down on the sticky notes various mnemonics, correct, or various confusing concepts. Write down on a sticky note and stick it around in the wall that you see most. Okay, so this will, again, if you don't have to go and read it every day, you see it every day, that will actually trigger your visual memory and that will help you retain those things. Okay, so these are some of the things that I followed during my preparation, and trust me, on the day of exam, when a question came up, I actually remembered the sticky note. Okay, so it helps, right? So that is about revision. Most important, your basics has to be strong. When I say your basics have to be strong, it's not that you need to excel in your BDS. Nothing like that. You can be an average student. I was a very average student, okay, during my BDS times. That doesn't matter over here. Okay, but during your preparation, when you give your time for your NEET MDS preparation, make sure that your concepts or your basics are very clear. Don't just sit and read your MCQs and by heart it. That doesn't work here. Okay, you need to make your concepts clear. It's not just direct questions that you get, right? You need to understand the concept behind those questions. Okay, so for that, again, earlier the pattern was a bit different. You did not have to do any textbook readings previously. Okay, but now seeing the pattern since the last 2 years, I would suggest textbook reading is as important, but don't sit and read the entire textbook. You do not have time for it. Okay, so you need to select particular concepts and clear those concepts. Okay, as in when you read Dental Pulse, if there are certain things that you not understand, maybe you can refer to videos, or maybe you can read textbooks to understand it better. So that way you need to have your basics strong. So like the game of Jenga, we know if the basic is not strong, if the foundation is not strong, the top structures can fall anytime. Correct? So that has to be strong. Now, when we talk about the NEET MDS exam, we all know the question distribution. Every year, there are around 15 to 20% of bounces. Okay, rest 80% of the paper is usually easy. Nobody talks about the easy part. Everybody is discussing about the difficult parts. For this exam also, everybody is talking about how that question was, how this case-based question was. There are so many direct questions as well. Okay, so 80% are easy. Okay, what you need to make sure is that 80% which is easy, correct, which are direct dental pulse picks or direct questions, you cannot go wrong on that, because everybody else would have made it right who have been preparing. Everybody would have made that question right. If you go wrong in that simple question, your ranking is gone far behind. Correct? So you cannot afford to do such mistakes there. Okay, those difficult questions, 20% difficult questions, those though everybody, for everybody it will be difficult. Those are bouncers for everybody. So that is again dependent on luck. Okay, but you cannot go wrong on the simple questions, right? Now, as in when you prepare, it's not just plain reading that is important. You need to evaluate yourself. You need to know about how much you're improving, or are you going down, or is there anything else that you need to do for your preparation. For that, you need to evaluate yourself timely. That is important. Okay, now when I say evaluation, you can take up test series, or maybe if you do not want to take up test series, what you could do is, as in when you read Dental Pulse, you can just close the answers below, okay, and see if you're able to recollect the answers. Okay, don't just read question answer. That is not helping. Okay, so read the question, see if you're able to recollect. Okay, then you'll be able to understand. If you're able to recall things, or you'll understand where you're standing. Okay, one thing I want to tell you all here: do not compare your marks, or do not compare your preparation with your batchmates or with your friends. Don't do that. That is just going to give you anxiety. Okay, nothing that is not going to help. Don't compare your marks. Okay, when I talk about comparing your marks and anxiety, one thing that I'd like to stress over here: stay away from any kind of negativity during this 6-7 months. Okay, any kind of negativity, negative talks, negativity, people who pull you down, maybe intentionally, unintentionally. If it's giving you stress, stay away from it. Give it a break for some time. Okay, right. Now that step from failure to success, that is very huge. Now success again is a personal thing. Everybody has different definitions of success. Here I'm talking about success in this exam, NEET MDS examination. Now that step is very huge. You need to make a lot of sacrifices. It does not come easy. Trust me. During our preparation time, we used to study around 11 to 12 hours. I cannot imagine now doing that again. I will not be able to do that again. But that driving force you get only during that preparation phase, that actually pulls you forward. Okay, so there'll be a lot of sacrifices that you'll have to make. Correct? You might miss a family function, friend's birthday party, outing, but everything can wait. In the end, everything is worth it. Okay, maybe social media also can wait. Okay, I know it's difficult at this time to stay away from social media. I was during my exam time, Instagram was not much used. It was WhatsApp. Correct? And I was always into WhatsApp. And I had to decide to deactivate my WhatsApp for that 6-7 months. It was not an easy task for me, but I knew WhatsApp was the most biggest hurdle during my preparation time, because I would unknowingly check my WhatsApp in between. Okay, so I had to deactivate it for around 6-7 months. It was not easy, but there are certain things that you need to do to move ahead in life, right? So I'm not asking you all to like quit everything and sit and become a saint and study. Don't do that. Take breaks in between. You cannot continuously sit and study for like 6-7 hours continuously. 1 hour also continuously studying is not possible. So be healthy. Don't like stress yourself up. Okay. So study for 20 minutes, take a break of around 10 minutes, study again for 20 minutes. Just be sure that you're consistent. Okay. Most important thing is make sure that you do not give up. Okay. Only those who persist in the race are the ones that achieve big success. Correct. So make sure that you do not give up. There'll be so many negative thoughts coming into your mind during your preparation. There are chances that you lose hope. You might feel that I won't be able to do it. Everybody goes through this phase. Okay. But what gives you that winning edge is that you have to persist during this entire phase. There might be chances that the exam gets postponed. Last year, at least this time it was proper, but last year the exams were postponed twice. Correct. So all these times you need to stay strong and persist the entire phase. Correct. It is difficult, but you need to make sure that you do not give up and you stay consistent throughout the journey. Correct. So those were some pointers that I would like to share from my experience. Dr. Blesson couldn't join today's session because of the slight change in timing. So that is about it. So a quick info about what we provide in Dental Loupes. We provide both MDS coaching as well as BDS subject tutorials. So that is about it. Those of you who do not follow us on Instagram or YouTube, you can follow us to get more dental videos. And we proudly present to you our achievers of the first batch. So we are very happy to show you all this. And the second batch has just given the exam this year, right? So yeah, with this, I would like to stop the session for today. And once again, I'd like to thank Yen-DEU University and Imran Pasha sir for this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Manisha, can you go through the slides? Because I think it was stuck kind of a thing. Can you go through from first to beginning?
Yes, sir.
It
Yes,
was
sir.
just stuck. I can go slide wise, one by one, and you can just tell a few things about for them.
Okay, sir. Sir, the audio wasn't audible, sir.
Audio was proper. I did not want to interrupt you because you were talking,
Okay.
and you are
Okay.
in the flow and you are giving the motivation. I thought slide wouldn't make any difference.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll just go
On
through
the
this.
first slide, you can just quickly go through them. Means
Right,
one or
right.
two. Wherever you feel that you need to stress, you can stress.
So, during the meanwhile, if there are any doubts that you all have, you all can please unmute yourself and speak up, and so
Yeah,
that I
and
can.
yeah. I have a lot of questions because I just saw that my students gave the exams and few of them I spoke, and they
Okay.
were, they were having part A and part B
Yes,
because
sir.
some of them, they thought that they have a lot of time and they couldn't move to part B. They had some
Yes.
issues.
Yes.
How do you sort out whether to answer part A first or part B? What would be your advice?
Sir, yes, like I already mentioned, we have part A as well as part B. So in part A, usually they have the medical questions. So chances are that the part A is a bit lengthy. So there are a lot of case-based questions. So reading those questions only would take up time. So you can, so I would suggest what I followed was I went in the order only part A and then part B, but I did not sit and read the questions that I did not understand in the first reading. So first reading, I would go about just marking whatever I am very much sure of. So part A and then part B, but only those sure questions. Okay. Whatever questions that I felt I had to review later on, I would put on review and then go back to it later on. Otherwise, if we sit and read that one question which is confusing, it will take up all our time. So it will be very difficult to manage time in that case.
Thank you, Manisha. Manisha, you can go through the slides, Manisha.
Yeah.
You go to the slideshow and make it slideshow. I think it is not on to the slideshow. The normal PPT slideshow. It is now moving.
So it's visible now?
Go to the next slide. Yes, visible. Can you go to the next slide? No, it's not moving.
Um,
You have to present that
so it's in the slideshow format itself. So.
format. Okay, now it's moved. Now it moved.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you have made some recommendations from which book to study. Previous slide.
Yes,
Can I go
yes.
to the 12th slide?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the students can take a screenshot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the screen visible now, sir?
Yeah, now visible. So these are the recommendations of the books you would suggest for them to read.
Yes. Yes. Especially Dental
me,
Pulse.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Vishal, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm an intern from Kamini Institute of Dental Sciences from
Okay.
Telangana. Yeah, so literally, like, I didn't have any sort of preparation this time. But I can understand the intensity of questions because in Pulse or any other materials, we need to we get questions from a similar subject. But when we see in the exam, there is amalgamation of 2 to 3 subjects and 2 to 3 topics for a single case-based question. So how to get acknowledged with this type of questions? And the second thing is most of the questions were lengthy and the time is too less. Like how to manage the time for such case-based questions because that makes a difference. Because every small question each and every person can attend, but solving those type of questions and uh, uh, correcting them itself varies our rank, right? So how does it? How can we come back these two things?
Right. Vishal, actually, I could not hear your first question. I'll answer your second question and then we'll discuss about the first. Talking
Okay.
about time management, I just mentioned to Dr. Imran Pasha, sir, when you answer your exam, so first thing before your exam phase, one thing that you need to do is take up mock tests or take up test series. One thing, because that will definitely help you manage your time, because if you go and attempt your exam directly without any previous practice, you'll have a lot of confusion on the day of exam. Okay, one thing, on the day of exam when you prepare, okay, when you when you attend the exam, what you need to do is, like I already mentioned, only those questions that you know properly, you're sure of, mark those in the first reading. Okay, go back, and lengthy questions, again there'll be some keywords. Okay, those general medicine, general surgery questions that you have, there'll be some keywords for that. Actually, unlike previous years, since the last 2 3 years, there are questions that you'll be able to solve only if you have in-depth knowledge on it. Okay, before you need not read anything from the textbooks, but presently the pattern is that you will have to have some textbook knowledge to answer those questions. So there are certain keywords that you need to know that will help you solve those general medicine and general surgery questions, like certain microbe name and certain symptom that is associated with that particular microbe. So those keywords would actually help you solve those lengthy questions. Okay, so that is about your time management on the day of exam. The first question, could you tell me the question once more? It was not very clear.
Yeah, ma'am. Am I clear now?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
Yeah, ma'am. My question is like even in any if we follow any book or any material, like we have questions which from a from a single subject,
Hmm.
like pharmacology different, medicine different, and oral path is different. But
Hmm.
when we get to exam, there is amalgamation of
Okay.
three knowledge questions, which is
Correct.
not like we are not aware of such questions before in any other the
Correct.
books. And in even in exam in coaching institutes also, like it is less emphasized. And I noticed there is a there is much needed of medical knowledge to solve those questions because most of the questions were from medical, and the most of the toughest and lengthiest questions were also from medical. background,
Correct.
and being from dental background, again going and reading all those things is a bit difficult for us. And how to cope up with this, because we don't know, like medical is very vast, which have like in pharmacology or like they are not like, because we are very specific to our subjects when we were writing
Mm.
exams.
Mm.
But in like pathology or microbiology, there are some certain topics that we don't know, like which have to be concentrated. And
Correct.
the second,
So,
like, and the second question is like you didn't mention like how to prepare for INEC and NEEMS, like, and how it is different from NEET, and what is the special emphasis on that apart from NEET preparation.
okay, one second. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like I already mentioned, now presently, the scenario is that we cannot just focus on these multiple choice books. Correct. Earlier, maybe around 2 years back, if I would present the same thing, I would tell you all to just go and sit, read your multiple choice book, the explanation and synopsis. Okay, I would tell not to read textbooks, but presently it is very essential that you have textbook knowledge as well. So that is how you'll be able to solve those questions, which is an amalgamation, correct, of two subjects. That one thing. So I wouldn't suggest you all to read the entire textbooks, but your concepts have to be clear. Those questions that come in Dental Pulse, and when you read an explanation in of the question in Dental Pulse itself, you need to know there are certain things beyond your knowledge, beyond your understanding. That moment itself, you need to clear it out from textbooks, or your mentors or your seniors who have already cracked the exam. You need to speak to them. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, the list of books that I've shared over here, I hope the screen was visible to you all. There was Sparsh Gupta for pharmacology and general pathology. So that book is actually a beautiful book for clearing your concepts. I used to refer to those books. Those are actually medical books, but that will actually help you clear your concepts very well. Okay, Sparsh Gupta for pharmacology and general pathology, it's very helpful. Similarly, for microbiology, there is Arvind Arora. You cannot sit and read the entire textbooks, but in Arvind Arora, there is a synopsis of particular microbes. Okay, so only those microbe name and the most important points of those microbes are listed out at the end of every chapter. Correct. So when you do that, when you have that particular note in mind, so suppose we're talking about one particular streptococcus, and the important points only for that. So you know, if you get a long large question, a medical based question, and they ask about something, you see those two keywords, you'll be able to identify or come to those answers. So that is how you save your time and read as well. So about the amalgamation of questions, definitely you need to have in-depth textbook knowledge to solve such kind of questions. And about the bouncers, again, like I already mentioned, difficult questions are difficult for everybody, so we cannot help it. Okay, so basic questions that you have to solve properly, you cannot go wrong in the basic questions. Correct. Next thing about INICET and NEET MDS. NEET MDS is the exam that most of you all attempt. INICET also, now there is a shift, most of the students attempt. But the thing is, INICET, we all know the seats are very limited. You need to be in the top 10 or 10 to 12 now, I think. So to get a seat in INICET, correct? AIMS, PGI and all that. Again, the question pattern, earlier INICET had a lot of repeat questions. But now again, the pattern is changing. So every year the pattern changes. So this time INICET, so we all know it comes in May and November. This time again, the question level, when you see INICET or AIMS question, usually they have compared to NEET, sometimes the question look very simple. Okay, but when you have an easy question paper, you need to understand one thing, that everybody will have an easy paper. Correct? So your ranking might have a lot of change when the results come. Okay, so it is always good to have a mildly difficult paper when it comes to your entrance examination, right? I hope I could solve some of your queries, Vishal. Is there anything else that you need to know?
Like, can you explain the pattern of INECT, ma'am? Like, how did you explain the NEET? Like, because
Sorry,
I heard
pattern
that
of?
INICT, because I
Pattern.
heard that AIMS is more clinical, like more clinical subject questions come in AIMS
Correct.
exam.
So, like we know in NEET now, especially there are a lot of medical questions coming up. In AIMS, actually, there are these clinical topics like proso, ortho, and those subjects that AIMS have seats in. Okay, those are the ones which are mostly focused on. Even pedo, now they have seats in pedo as well. So those clinical aspects, they have a lot of questions, and clinical application level questions are also there. But unlike previous years where AIMS used to be very difficult, sometimes the AIMS paper also go very easy. They have direct questions from a clinical aspect also. Okay, so that the pattern, when I talk about NEET and INICT, there is the preparation wise, I wouldn't say there is a lot of change. Just like you already mentioned, is that more of a clinical oriented preparation for AIMS, and NEET would be in general, meaning total entire BDS.
Thank you.
Anyone else has any questions to Manisha? Like, should we join test series or should we join the full coaching? Any questions? Manisha, what would be your viewpoint on how do we go ahead? You know, if somebody, there will be a self-study person who wants to study by themselves, don't want to join anything. Do you have some, like a test series which are being offered by Dental Loupes?
So basically, somebody who is doing self study, one thing that they need to have definitely is self motivation. If you have that self motivation and discipline, you do not need to join any coaching. Yes, we do have test series. We do have basically for our institute students, what we provide is we have weekly and monthly tests. So once every week, once a chapter subject is over, we have weekly tests and monthly tests. So once the entire syllabus is completed, we have test series for 2 months, which is subject wise tests and INICET and NEET pattern tests. That is for 2 months. So that is the thing that we provide for our students. So apart from that, there are students who are doing self-study. We provide them only with those tests that we provide to our students, that we provide them separately other than our live sessions.
And really thanks, Monisha, for joining us. And I'm really sorry that we had to reschedule the program, and I know that we missed Blessin. And hopefully, we'll conduct one more, in 6 months' time, so that we can have you both, and we can revise on the same thing, and we can have the same question answer sessions. I hope all the students who have joined, one word of advice is the entire video we will be uploading both in our Enapa University Alumni Association YouTube channel as well as in the Enapa Dental Education Unit YouTube channel. And I will be providing the recording to Monisha, so she will be able to apply it in her own channel. Thanks, Monisha, for taking your time off and joining us, and giving such a motivation talk. And I know that as a student how hardworking you were, and I keep telling all my students, it's all about that. It's all about the motivation. And I know that you are going to jump a big gun. Your Dental Loupes, you're working on such I do not want to disclose now, but still I wish all the best for your big and future endeavors. I'm really proud of what you have achieved over a period of years. I was proud when you got a seat in Goa Dental College, both you and your husband, as well as now. I keep following all my students, what they're doing, how they are progressing. We as a teacher, we find it very happy that when our students do really well. So it is just like it's a point of point of cherry for us. And I'm really thankful to you for taking your time off. And I really apologize for making the small slight bit of changes in your timings. That's why Blessing could not join. But I'm hopeful that next time we'll have you in session along with the students interacting, because that gives more of a a one-to-one touch. And probably we can have some other memorandum of understanding with our college as well, so that we can offer these courses to our students here, probably at a discounted price or something. We can work out that as well. But thanks a lot for joining, and see you all in the next